Hey guys, I'm Hop. Thank you for tuning in to TFBTV. I am currently not in Arizona, you could probably tell, but back in October, TFB's Luke C and I went down to the legendary Gunsite Academy in Arizona to take a look at a couple of new guns from Mossberg. One of which I can't tell you about yet, but it is very cool, so stay tuned for that one in the next couple months. And the other one I can tell you about, and that is the new Mossberg Patriot LR. You can kind of think of it as a successor to Mossberg's MVP LC, the light chassis bolt-action rifle that I believe they no longer make. The difference between the Patriot and the MVP rifles is that the MVP action is designed to feed from AR-style double-stack double-feed magazines, either AR-15 or AR-10. So that limits the cartridge availability to just what you can fit into those magazines. The Patriot action feeds from longer single-stack AICS-style magazines, and that means you can get it in a lot of beefier cartridges, such as 6.5 PRC, and that is the one that we were shooting in October down at Gunsite. I'm not really well equipped to review a precision rifle because the farthest that I can shoot in my part of the state is about 85 yards, so I can't take advantage of the ballistics of 6.5 PRC, and the benefits of a bolt action are pretty much non-existent for me. One place where you can shoot really far is the Gunsite Academy in Arizona, so instead of reviewing this rifle, I'm just going to tell you about the rifle, and then I'm going to walk you through the shooting that we did at Gunsite, and hopefully if you're a PRS guy, that'll give you all the information you need to make up your mind about this rifle. Let's go for it. There are a bunch of existing models of the Mossberg Patriot, but this is the first chassis-style rifle in the lineup. The chassis is made by MDT, who are a big name in precision rifle parts and accessories. The MDT chassis has an enlarged and aggressively textured grip, and the stock is adjustable with spacers for length of pull and a movable cheek rest for comb height. The forend has 3 sides of M-LOK for attaching accessories. The ones that we shot had Magpul M-LOK bipods installed, but there are also sling swivels front and rear, so you could use a more traditional bipod if you preferred. The rifle has a Picatinny scope base with a built-in 20 MOA cant. The built-in cant on a rail like this allows you to use more of your scope's elevation to dial for extremely long-range shooting. The action of the rifle is similar to other Patriot models, but with a heavier bull barrel instead of a tapered or fluted barrel. The one we shot is chambered in 6.5 PRC with a 24-inch barrel, threaded 5/8 by 24 for suppressors or other muzzle devices. It will also be available at launch in .308 Winchester and 6.5 Creedmoor with 22-inch barrels. 6.5 PRC is what 6.5 Creedmoor was originally designed to be, before it had to be scaled back a bit to fit a semi-automatic AR-10 action and magazine. The 6.5 PRC is pushing the same projectiles as 6.5 Creed, but about 200 feet per second faster. It gets pretty close to cracking 3,000 FPS. The rifles we shot in Arizona had Crimson Trace hardline 4-16 by 44s on them. These are more of a lightweight hunting scope, not exactly the best optic for a heavy-hitting precision rifle. I've used the bigger brother to that scope, the 4-16 by 50 Hardline Pro, and that would be a much more desirable piece of glass. A bigger objective lens for more light gathering, a first focal plane reticle, and exposed dialable turrets for windage and elevation. Even I know that's a better fit for precision rifle shooting, and I don't know anything about precision rifle shooting. The chassis systems make these rifles look lighter than they are. The MVP LC was relatively svelte, but the Patriot LR Tactical is a big pike of a gun, not something you're hiking around with. To start the day, we zeroed these rifles at 100 yards on paper. A good, precise zero is critical once you start stretching the range out and relying on ballistic calculation to get hits at distance. While we were shooting our groups, almost everybody on the line was getting repeatable sub-MOA groups, pretty reliably half MOA. I know 3-round groups are a controversial subject, and I'll agree that a single 3-round group doesn't prove anything. If you cherry pick the best 3-round group you've ever shot and claim your rifle is capable of that level of accuracy, that's not really true. But for my money, if you shoot a whole bunch of sub-MOA 3-shot groups in a row, I would consider the rifle to be sub-MOA accurate. Once we had our zeros refined, we drove out to the long-range facility to stretch out the rifle a bit. The ammo we were using was Hornady 143 grain ELD match, and we ran the cartridge info through a ballistic calculator to get our drops in MOA. We were shooting the Gunsite method, which meant adjusting for bullet drop by dialing the elevation turret and using the hash marks in the reticle to correct for wind drift. We started out shooting at 400 yards and finished at 700 yards. 4 shooters were on the deck at any time, and we took shots in sequence.
Shooter 1. Yep.
Shooter ready.
Left edge. Boom. In the red. Nice. Shooter number 2.
Shooter ready.
Left edge. Impact.
Shooter 3. Left edge.
Gunsite's long-range instructors were the ones spotting and giving wind calls, though we only went to 700 yards, and at that distance the 6.5 PRC is fairly untroubled by wind. When you have an experienced spotter calling the shots, it turns out it's pretty easy to hit targets at 700 yards.
Center. Impact. You got like three touching, so keep doing what you're doing.
Luke and I both had a 100% hit rate on steel, which I think is mostly because we both had a really precise zero on our rifles. If your zero is right on the money, shooting at long range is like 80% math, and since somebody else did the math, I was pretty confident. The rifle and the 6.5 PRC would definitely have been capable of going further, and I would have enjoyed the chance to shoot to 1,000 yards, but we ran out of time and had to call it a day.
Right in the middle.
All right, shooter 1.
Shooter ready.
Left edge. Impact. Shooter 2.
Ready.
Left edge. Impact.
Shooter 3.
I don't shoot a lot of bolt actions, but the Patriot LR has a few ergonomic features I appreciate. The MDT chassis has a very vertical, hand-filling grip shape, which allowed me to get good, clean trigger pulls without having to monkey my ET fingers around the whole trigger shoe. The trigger is Mossberg's lightning bolt trigger, which is very light and also adjustable if you would prefer it to be extremely light. And the oversized bolt handle is nice and comfy. Like I said though, I'm not a PRS guy. A 24-inch barrel is comically oversized for my AO, and 6.5 PRC is ghoulish overkill for the ranges I can shoot at. Mossberg definitely has plans to expand the chassis-style Patriot LR platform after this initial offering, so I suspect cartridges and barrel lengths I'm more interested in will come down the pipeline soon. The version I want would be a bit more in line with what I think a Patriot LR Tactical should be, a 16-inch heavy barrel threaded for a suppressor in .308 Winchester. There's nothing else about the rifle I would change, but then again, like I may have mentioned once or twice already, I am not a PRS guy. Holy crap, Luke, they made the RV from Breaking Bad into a real thing. That's all we got time for today, guys. Thank you for watching. TFB TV is supported by our sponsors, Ventura Munitions and Top Gun Supply. Go ahead and check them out. They help make this show possible. We are also directly supported by our viewers like you via Subscribestar and Utreon. Links to both of those are in the video description. If you join up, you'll be eligible for a lot of giveaways that James puts together, and you'll also get to watch an exclusive Q&A series that James and I have been doing every month. So, check it out. See you guys next time.